What day is this?
Christmas Eve, sir.
Hanukkah is the festival of lights. One day of presents, hell no, we get the 8 crazy nights.
Come now, sing with me, Papa Grimbo.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, blimey, that's totally off. There you go. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning. I have been somewhat tardy. I forgot to do something. Actually, I forgot to do two things, right? I've just been going over my thumbnails for the first 3 months to do a review of 2024, right? Because, yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it because you get to see what was going down in real time, right? And you got to see, like, rumors that you believe, rumors that you didn't believe, rumors that you didn't believe that turned out to be true. That was a funny one. But here, I forgot to do one important thing. Let me just click this button. I go doing. Oh no, I don't want to save it there. I've got to save it over here. Doing. Because the second night I don't my Hanukkah candles up, so now I just got to add them in. Oh, I just edited it just now, so get it ready. Where is it? And upload. Click the upload button. Hanukkah overlay uploading. Please stand by. Oh, there you go. Hanukkah Sameach. How are you all doing today? So a lot of you like heading, hither and thither to see other parts of your family, have other big meals. Basically, we're in this kind of weird limbo zone now for the next 10 days or a little bit less as we float to the new year, right? And the mood somewhat changes as we turn from, the warm Christmassy glow. I think we're still on warm Christmassy glow feeling, right? I mean, that's basically where you are on Boxing Day. I think by the time we hit Sunday, we're going to be like, oh, God, we're going to get ready for another piss up on Wednesday. Lock and load, baby, lock and load. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you guys are doing on your Boxing Day. But we have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do the deep dive or review of Joyful World and Joyful World. What the hell was up with that? When they said Joyful Worlds, that was never part of the narrative whatsoever, right? They just screwed up. And put the wrong thing out, and then they tried to make out it was a thing. Where was it? Where was the? Oh, here it is. It was put out. Oh. Okay, are we back? I don't know. I think we're back. Although I just asked my wife to reboot the router. She can't have done it that quickly, right? She can't have done it that quickly. That is very, very strange. Anyway, here, when I pull this thing up. Share screen. Don't go over here. The whole thing, joy to the world, right? You remember that? Oh, no, it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's gonna, no, it was, Ken, how much bullshit can you bloody send in our direction, Russell? Like, how much bullshit before we go, we just shut up. We don't really care. We're going to look at the reaction from last night's episode. It got I would say, respectable 4.1. Respectable if you're not looking at it in context. But like, okay, look, here's what happened. The BBC destroyed the television landscape. Like, completely slashed and burned it, right? Cut it down to nothing, right? Really, really, genuinely hacked it down. I mean, the fact that EastEnders got 4.4 is quite, I'm reasonably amazed with, right? And so, like, something that's getting a 4.1 today in 2010, that'd be equal to, like, you could double that, right? And they get the same sort of round of applause if it was, like, if they just don't want to admit they're wrong. That is for them the worst thing in the world, being having to admit they're wrong, right? That's why Joe Biden didn't run as president, because they were forced to admit they're wrong, and they were just too mortified to be able to, deal. Now the whole thing with Trump, they're all like, they're too tired to fight. I mean, essentially, right? They pulled the poor Mark Hamill, man. Mark Hamill, I think he's had the worst trajectory of 2024 of anyone, really. I mean, what's this thing? Let me pull it up. Hang on. Yeah, I mean, like, he went from, like, A-list movie star to, like, bum. Like, homeless shouting, walking into a laundrette screaming out communist. Bum. Like, him, Rosie O'Donnell, I know. Yeah. This aged badly. Like, he is the king of badly aged tweets. Look at this. Right? And this was just a couple of months ago. Tomorrow on November 4th, right? Did somebody just fall down? I don't know. Let's have a look. 1 second. No, still there. It was. It did wobble a little bit. I'll fix it after the show. Anyway, yeah, man. Mark Hamill has not had a good 2024, right? It has been bad. And like, remember when he appeared at the White House and he was clearly drunk, right? He was clearly soused out of his face. Right, and it was like 9 a.m. Poor Mark Hamill. Oh, what can I tell you? Anyway, we are heavily in the holiday of Hanukkah now, and we are preparing for there to be many guests this Sabbath. Right, we got my son and my daughter-in-law coming. We got my daughter-in-law's mother coming, and I think my daughter-in-law's brother or sister. No, my daughter-in-law's sister. Okay, let's go. Okay. I got my son, my daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law's mother. Right? They're also French. Right? It's sad her father isn't coming because he's super French. Then it's got daughter-in-law's sister's husband, and brother. That's 6 of them. Right? That's 6. And then there's, me and my wife, that makes it up to 8. My 2 daughters, 10. And then my other daughter-in-law, whose husband is in Gaza, 11, and her mother, right? Well, we're up to those. So that's when we're having our Christmas dinner, right? That's our big Christmas dinner. We're having, the normal stuff, turkey, Brussels sprouts. My wife is really psyched to make pigs in blankets, like a kosher version of pigs in blankets. I always thought pigs in blankets were sausage rolls, but no, I was wrong. Here, let me show you. You're all going to go, well, of course that's what a pig in a blanket is, Rabbi. Yeah, I'm like, what do I know? Like, dude, I'm a rabbi. Where is it doing? Here it is. Share screen. So I was really psyched to make these. Where is it? There we go. Share screen. Chrome tab. So, yeah. So she's got, instead of bacon, and bacon is, by the way, Please, I beg of you, if you're not Jewish, every time you have bacon, get on your knees and cry and go, "This is the greatest thing ever," because it is. Because it is. So she's got was it pastrami, I think, that she's using instead of bacon. But she's really psyched to make these for tomorrow night, right? And then what we often do is for lunch we do Chinese food. That's like an American Christmas. American Christmas is a Chinese takeout because American Christmas sucks. Oh, American Christmas so sucks. English Christmas so awesome, right? So awesome. It's like there's such a gulf between the two. Yeah, there really is. Now I just got caught thinking about English Christmas. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, so we're not doing that this year because Christmas has passed now, right? And so we're doing traditional Hanukkah food. So my wife's making latkes, which are these potato pancakey things. You shred potato, mix them with salt and oil and egg, and fry them. Oh, it's good. We're having corned beef with it. And what else are you making? I know lots of Hanukkah things, right? She was, and also like because we have the a bunch of my daughter-in-law's family coming, and we have a very American palate. They're very like Sephardi French, right? So they have a very like different worldview with eating. Like my son was always like, well, it's weird. They don't put cutlery out. They just like put it out in the middle and then take it if you want. If you don't, I don't know. So my wife's trying to do lots of American things. She was thinking about doing, and I'm not sure if this is still on the plan. I can't remember. It changes too quickly. Of doing fried chicken fingers on waffles with cranberry, not with cranberry, with maple syrup. Oh, you'll die. Don't get me wrong, you will die. But it's so worth it, right? I can't really argue with that. I think it's just totally, it's a reasonable way to, it's a reasonable reason to die, I would say. You're going for the best of reasons. Anyway, Boxing Day, a lot of people are waking up from big parties. And I think a lot of people may have the same expression on their face as this chap over here. Yes, I think this is 1,000 words. I love dogs. I do love dogs. You know what else I love? I love Midjourney and Doctor Who. They put out a video of what they did this year, and oh man, you know what? It's really worth watching. It's fantastic. It really is. The stuff they've done is absolutely fantastic. 1 second. Here we go. I mean, it's helped, but this is, I think, one of Murray Gold's best moments, right? This theme. Now, Midjourney, Doctor, by the way, there's a very good stream on Dan's channel, Type 40, where he interviews him. The stuff he does, he goes into his process, and it's like, I didn't realize how much I didn't know about AI. I mean, even though I use it quite a lot. I mean, yeah. This was from Bernie Summerfield's first book. What was the name of it? It was set. This was Planet Heaven, not Happy Endings. Oh God, I can't remember. Did they ever make a adaptation of this? I can't remember. Oh, it's really going to annoy me now. That's Transit, right? And again, it looks so real, and in she looked the right age as well for that. Warhead. Okay, these are all like the Virgin New Adventure books. I think this is the Left-Handed Hummingbird. But yeah, the Left-Handed Hummingbird, there's a bit in it where the Doctor drops acid, which was very cool. All right, that really worked well. But this is just lovely. I think that was the villain from Left-Handed Hummingbird. I think it's a Quantum Angel. Again, I'm just like, trying to remember. I haven't read these things for like 20 years. I'm definitely trying to remember. Now, if that's Lungbarrow, that's never how I imagined it in my head. Maybe I didn't read the description that well, because he probably reads the description much better. This is perfect, right? This is from a book called Blood Heat, which is essentially the cover. I remember at the same time there was about a year or so earlier, there was a really good calendar that came out, which had like illustrations of things we hadn't seen, right? But Blood Heat was set in an alternate, 1990s, when the Silurians killed the Doctor and taken over the Earth, and the Shattered Earth is what we have the story take place. Not sure. I think it's a David Stone book. Sky Pirates is my guess. Sky Pirates. Oh, the Chenolians, one of the great villains, right? Monsters of the Virgin New Adventures range, and there's a few audio adaptations of them. That'll be Iris Wildthyme. I don't know who the last image was. Iris Wildthyme is another time lady who has a bust that's smaller on the inside than the outside. Her main incarnation is played by Katie Manning, which has got a Barbarella incarnation, and she says that the Doctor rips off her stories, right? So she had like the 6 irises. Iris Wildfire is a lot of fun. All mags, right? Oh, there, don't know. That one's stumping me. Oh, that's the ancestor cell. That was how they ended, I think, the British, not the BBC book range. Well, they came to a plateau. Gallifrey, maybe, or is this? Oh no, this is. I can't remember. My guess is a book called Transit, which was the one. I think that's a Romana and. Oh, that will be one of the demon ships, right? I think. That's not Grandfather Paradox, because we see him soon. And again, I can't remember what this is, but it looks so cool. That's Grandfather Paradox, right? Oh, so Grandfather Paradox was a great villain. And he was there's a thing called Faction Paradox, which was like a time-traveling weird voodoo cult. Again, I think that was Paul Maggs who put that together. But like the leader was Grandfather Paradox, the Grandfather Paradox, who was the Doctor who destroyed Gallifrey, and then got twisted and became totally evil in some kind of time war. That's what's the name of that book? It's got not Oscar Wilde in it. Oh, I can't remember. Again, that's another Paul Maggs book, but it was a fun one. I think that's the last one I read. That's why I jumped off. Oh, that looks like Storm Warning, but that doesn't make sense. I don't think it encountered a giant spaceship. I can't remember. Yeah, okay, that's the 8th Doctor riding on the Vortisaur. That was a dinosaur that lives in the time vortex. Year of Intelligent Tigers, Kate Allman book. And this is straight out of the first 8th Doctor strip, the one with the Celestial Toy Maker magazine. Oh, and now we've got to get a bit of Peter Cushing awesomeness. Oh, hell was it? Oh, hell. Frobisher, All Hell, Big Talking Bird. And this is one of the many console rooms that never were. It was designed by Lee Sullivan for Doctor Who magazine. Again, I don't think Sophie was ever that trim, but this was like the New Adventures Ace. That's cool. I like that a lot. My guess is this is the Galilari Clutch. These are a spacefaring group of dinosaur-like aliens who were the bad guys who viewed the Doctor as a bad guy. And I have this ever-changing giant space station made up of interlocking ships. So a different AI model for Charlie. That looks like What's yeah, this is from the Christmas one they did. Chimes of Midnight. I love Chimes of Midnight. Like, I can't wait for there to be really good Doctor Who animation. I mean, look at this. Right? I would love this. I mean, honestly, the reconstructions that we've had, they're out of date now. I feel it's kind of silly that they're still doing them, frankly. Oh, that was from, I'm going to say, the Infinity Doctors. Wait, I just want to go back to this. Oh, look at it. This is a Marco Polo, but with the Cushing Doctor. That's very cool. Yeah, look, I mean, again, they did a great job. They were fantastic for the time. Those animated reconstructions, they're over, right? They've really, really been superseded. Oh, man, this is going to be really cool. Faction Paradox stuff. Oh, it's really cool. I love it. These are the Cybermen that featured in the comic strip McGann's last story. And this has all been developed this year, right? What a wild year is. Look at this. Incredible. So I think that's the Infinity Doctor's TARDIS. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's 5 Doctors, Susan, running from the time scoop. Look at that. Incredible. Here it is. Oh, so good. Ace had a time-traveling bike in the new Avengers. And that sort of thing happens to the Doctor quite a lot. 2.5 glorious years. I guess it's Panda from the Iris Wi-Fi. So that was pretty darn cool. Man, that was pretty darn cool. Yeah, there's a lot cool going on, right? There is a lot cool going on. Let's get to the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lot to get to. Share screen, doink. There we go. Oh, Nicola. I do like Nicola, the morning after. Well, that got crazy. Rabbi from another planet, Hair of the Dog, Doctor Who, Joy to the World, and forget the world bullshit. It was a typo that they get up, okay? Deep dive review. And I'm not sure it's worth even going that deep because it's not that interesting. Really, it's not that interesting. I do want to try and do a Blake 7 review tonight. Been trying to do it for the last week. I'm so behind on that stuff. But I also want to do the 2024 year in review part 1. Right? It's January, February, March. And I was right. I totally forgot about it. And I was about an hour before I started. I was like, no. We light the Hanukkah candles at what time? It was about 10 to 6. And I remembered at 5:30. So I spent 20 minutes going through the thumbnails. And then I spent another, right up until, it was showtime going through the thumbnails. So I do want to get to that. 2024 year in review. Amazon Butcher's Wonderful Life. Yeah, apparently it's cut out a bunch of key scenes from their streaming of it. Why they do this, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the chat. Darren Evans here. Greetings and felicitations to you, you too, sir, my good man. Got an answer there. The Rabbi, 3 streams in a row. Well, they said it wasn't possible one gets to my age. Bobby D75 is here. Did Ben cook it? It's a wonderful life. Probably, right? Yeah. What are we up to? Catherine Fears here. Merry Christmas, everyone. And Merry Christmas to you, Catherine. Sorry, Indian says, yes, it was so stunning and brave for the Rabbi to do a live stream about the Doctor cry. Maybe one more lesson grown. It was I still got good rates for that. Which made Shooty cry. Oh, I don't remember Shooty crying in this story. Did he cry? I can't remember. Right, I cannot remember. We have to hit the like rumble button. Says Darren Evans. You are correct, sir. I can't argue. Have you ever seen Jim Henson's Storyteller? Yes, I have. Now, watch the first season. Was it the John Hurt one? Oh, it was wonderful. Right? Let's see if I can find. If you haven't seen it, it is wonderful. YouTube. I think John Hurt was the first season. Jim Henson's then replaced by Jim Henson's storyteller, John Hurt. John Hurt. Yeah, that's it. HDA AI remaster. That's pretty impressive. Let's see if when did this come out? Was this the opening titles? I think this is the opening titles. It can't be the whole episode. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's a whole episode. So yeah, we'll get to see. Here it comes. Have I seen the storyteller? Oh, have I not seen the storyteller, baby? Doink. Great titles, right? That's always the sign of a great show. Great title.
When people told themselves their past with stories, explained their present with stories, foretold the future with
Man, John Hurt's just a great actor.
Stories.
What a great actor.
The best place by the fire was kept for the storyteller.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like in a second. The Soldier and Death. Yeah, I love this dog puppet. Oh man, Jim,
what's in your bag? I can smell biscuits.
Imagination.
Let me see.
Certainly not. No, there are important things in this bag.
Oh yeah, I have seen it. It's a great show. Really great show. What's the just sat down, dragging my feet to watch it? Don't even bother, Bobby. I mean, you can if you want, but it's not really worth your time, right? It's not really worth your time. Got out to notice I'm frozen. Yes, but I was back. I think it was Shooter's best. I still think the Church on Ruby Road was Shooter's best, right? Maybe just because I didn't realize how awful it was going to be. Like, at that point, I know. I still think the Church on Ruby Road was best. A ball to the world. I don't know what that means. Johnny Alden is here. How you doing, Johnny Alden? Keeping us on the toes, deliberately making the show freeze. Shame on you. Well, I do use my powers for evil quite often. I do. It's just the way I go, baby. Just the way I roll. PD Rich is here. How you doing, PD Rich? Thank you for joining us. No, John, I was just going to say, I so agree with you about the war games, but no, my criticisms are very different than yours, right? I don't mind them like chopping it up and re-editing it. I just mind them doing it in a shit way, right? And I like them finding ways to bring in a new audience. Really, and again, what I think they should have done is edit it as edit it for social media, because the whole thing previously on Doctor Who, right? When you have those recaps, the whole thing was like one of those recaps, right? So I think they really could have done for like TikTok. I think it probably would have done quite well. I think it probably would have done better. I think it would have been more effective than what they did was, which I don't think was effective at all. Right? Look, the problem is, who's it for? It's for who Russell D. Davies think new fans are, who are this awful little bubble of like toxic fans. And that's who he makes it with. That's why he puts Jodie in. So glad I didn't watch it. The amount of tears Shooty. I don't think he cried in that one. I'm starting to think he's employed by the border companies to create new reservoirs. The trouble is, he's just not very good at being the Doctor, right? And he may have been a good actor, but I think that was the lack of demand on him as a professional because he's black and gay, and so. Listen, he's been very successful being black and gay. Why would you do anything other than being black and gay, right? That just seems to be like, well, that's worked for me thus far, and I can't really argue with that. You can't argue with that. What we're up to? Peter Rich says, well, the BBC want to be part of the now unfashionable global political elite. What the fuck did they think was going to happen? They thought their reign was going to last forever. Yeah, as does every dictatorship. They think their reign is going to last forever. And they didn't realize it was all going to... Yeah, you wait till we start doing the year in review from January. Right. And yes, it's Big Finish first Benny story. Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah. Like Colin Baker and Nicholas Corney. I like those ones, right? We saw Long Barrow, then it was never mentioned again. Well, I think that was what YouTube video is this? That is a I think it's on Twitter. This is Doctor Who and the Mid Journey. It just I love the work he does, and you can spend hours looking through the stuff he does. It's beautiful, right? It's really genuinely beautiful. Also, Ezra Goldstein. I've always been kind of miffed that Big Finish hasn't done an adaptation of Long Barrow. That seems to be one that's really ripe for a great, what's I going to say? Adaptation. That's what I'm looking for. I think Grandfather Paradox was created by the premature death of the Pertwee Doctor. Oh, something like that. But it ended up being what's his name? The McGann artwork, the McGann Doctor. I can't remember. No, you don't think up to this. Merry Christmas, you, Sousa. Darren M. just put a link to his Twitter account, his X account. Good for you, Darren M. Soren says, I try my best with the war games, but once they showed Jodie, my faith went out the window. Hold on, Doctor Who loves gravitas, I'm afraid. Yes, you're right? Long Barrow with semi-canonical gospel says the Cybernetic Zone 01, right? You don't want to hang out with the Cybernetic Zone 02. They're a bit weird. 01, that's where the cool people go. Mark the Vicar is here, doing Mark the Vicar. Didn't watch Doctor Who yesterday, and Wallace and Gromit was boring. I enjoyed it, right? I enjoyed it, but I also fell asleep during it. So, swings and roundabouts, baby. Swings and roundabouts. Where should we start? You know what? Let's start and going through. What's it called again? The Christmas episode. Where is it? Actually, no. Before we do Hitler, I'm just going to play a random moment from War Games and Colour, and I am positive it will demonstrate what I didn't like about it. Right? I'm just going to go over there. Right? We'll just play it for like 30 seconds, and you'll see it's kind of unintelligible.
So what do we do now?
I must get you all back to the landing base.
Those guards will be all over the place.
Yes, what we need is some sort of disguise.
The whole thing is like previously on Doctor Who.
Right, Jamie, it's me.
These are just weird cuts that doesn't make much sense, right? It's like there's really no narrative flow.
Put on this great coat.
Where's Zoe? What's happened?
She's waiting outside the closet. Zoe, are you ready? Right. Quick, march.
Right, now it gets worse.
You sure you can work these controls, Doctor?
Yes, I think so, Zoe. Now let me see. Please scheduled for the 1917 zone and off we go.
It just doesn't really flow at all.
Off you go. Don't be afraid. You've gone before. Ask you, Doctor. No, I shall follow him.
Oh, that's it. The new effects I found. Everything was good apart from the edit, right? I really like the new effects. Do we see a Sid Rat flying? God, the music's really just in the way. Yeah, I do like their Spectrum bass, right? So the new effects, generally speaking, but like the whole thing is just like previously on Doctor Who. It gives you a bit of a headache, right? I don't really mind the War Chief being the Master. As I said yesterday or the day before, it'll be kind of weird if he wasn't the Master, frankly. So I don't know. Oh, there's somewhere there's different now. I'll pop it up later. So yeah, it's while a lot of it did work, the colorization was excellent. I like new effects. The edit killed it, right? The edit absolutely killed it. So let's start doing a deep dive into Joy to the World, right? And I don't know who told me this last night, but somebody asked me, did Nicola Coughlan get her tits out like she did for Bridgerton? I'm like, no, she didn't. She'll never do that. Why would she do it? And insanely, I Googled it, right? Insanely, I Googled it. I'm scarred for life. I'm like, oh, God. Nicola, baby, why are you doing that? Oh, God, that wasn't good, right? That wasn't good at all. So thankfully, she didn't do that, right? Don't Google it. Holy shit! It's very yeah. Listen, I'm all for saying that's a lovely, saying that there's a lovely pair of tits. That was not a lovely pair of tits. Very, very scary. Pair of tits, as I found. Anyway, so we start off. We start again. I think this is really it's a weird and yet somewhat effective World War II sequence with the Blitz going on in Manchester. Now, obviously the Blitz happened in Manchester. I just always thought about it just being London, right? Because I'm a Londoner, right? So you have these people in a hotel at Christmas. And I like that. Yeah, well, this is a really swanky hotel room they're in. Look, they got their own tree, and decorate. This is a really nice hotel room. And they're saying, "Oh, bombing's all going to be bad." And again, there's a nice bit of tension built up, and then this schmuck shows up, right? I don't find his smile reassuring in any way. I just don't, right? No, Mark the Vicar, no, save yourself. Save yourself. TARDIS time. Google Nicola Brighton said, listen to TARDIS time. He knows what he's talking. Right? Horton asked about the war games. How do they get the color so good? I don't know. But it's the other thing. Yeah, it's the colorization is a dying art because it's going to be replaced by AI. God, by this time next year, I'll be surprised. Even upscaling, for example. Right? I don't understand it. I got all of Deep Space Nine on a hard drive at 1080p. Right, it's on Netflix at 480 or something, standard def. And I'm like, what? Why don't they just, AI, upscale it? I don't, because this is where the technology is. Anyway, so fine. So then Shooty Gatwa bounds into the pumpkin latte and a cheese and a ham toasty, and again, he's not reassuring. His smile isn't reassuring. His smile is, I may use you as my fuck buddy, smile, right? It's not a platonic smile, right? It's a bit of a pervy smile, right? Why? Because every essence of him is abnormal sexuality. When I say abnormal, not the sexuality of about 97% of the world, right? Babylon 5 is proof of algorithmic scaling. Exactly. I got that on 1080 as well. Before they release it on Blu-ray. So yeah, he walks through the store in the hotel, pumpkin latte, whatever. Again, he robs any scene of any gravitas. I just don't think he really knows how to play the character well. The script, however, look, if I could AI replace Shooty Gatwa with Peter Capaldi, this would be better than Return of Dr. Mysterio, definitely. Probably The Husbands of River Song. I do like Last Christmas, though. I like Last Christmas a lot. But yeah, if you had a good actor with gravitas in it, well, that's the other thing, though. I think there's another fundamental thing which Stephen Moffat is doing. I don't think he's doing it consciously. But this and Boom was very much about a destruction of traditional Christianity, right? I was going to say religion, but no, it's actually, they think it's religion, but it's the whole thing is actually Christianity because they can't really think outside that box. Right, and replacing it with something new. So that was the basic point of Boom, and this one, Boom. He was very against the organized religion, but it was very, very pro having faith and faith in whatever religion you make up for yourself, right? The whole cheese toasty thing is a bit indicative of what Russell Davis is aiming for. A set of words that will be totally alien to people in most time zones. Exactly. And I just don't think this worked at all, right? And he goes back through the door, and then he's on the Orient Express in Italy 962, and this woman's got a letter. They reveal later that it's a breakup letter with her girlfriend. Like, fuck me, it's everybody fucking gay all the fucking time. Like, people, and this when I was watching it, what puts me in the frame of this was right before it started, Strictly Come Dancing, and then I had a bunch of like normal dancey couples and a drag queen, right? And again, I don't know why they think putting on a sparkly dress and heels and a wig makes them look like a chick. It doesn't, right? It doesn't. So anyway, they so then Shitty turns up and says, ham and cheese toasty and a latte. So the base camp 1953 Everest. So they think, the clip's been out for a while. Now we get to the Sang Hotel, London, 2024, and the plot starts, right? So Joy shows up, and the receptionist who becomes a bit of a major character, and then they forget about her. So weirdly enough, also if is the room single, he said, "Oh, does it show?" Yes, darling, it shows. And again, I'm sure here's the thing. You know what would have made this much better? If it was about her finding normal heterosexual love. Like basically like her becoming a princess. Right? For her prince. Or whatever, it's a very seminal basic female fantasy that they really fight against. But that really would have made this a lot stronger. So she's booking in and showing the room, and she's going to be there for a week. I mean, darling, how much money do you have? I mean, and the other thing that makes it totally not real, it's not full of Africans, right, who don't speak English, and are eating cats and dogs, barbecuing them outside. Right, that would make it a little bit more realistic. Don't want to say the Dracula was so typical BBC. Yeah, it was, right? So then she asked, now, what's this store? And then everywhere has a door, and then the Silurian walks in. I honestly, I don't really like these new Silurians either. I don't. I kind of prefer the ones, the original ones with the weird mouths and the third eye. These just look like, these are a bit Star Trek-y, I'm afraid. Right? They just look a bit Star Trek-y to me, like bumpy foreheads. So then the Silurian walks in and she's holding a hairdryer, which he thinks is a gun. And she's like, what's going on? And then Shooty shows up and is just like excruciating. It's like, and again, look, these are very strong, piercing fuck me eyes he's got, right? Which I think Russell Davis saw and said, oh, yeah, that's good. And again, I know there's this lack of like wholesomeness. Mark found the Nicola Coughlan tits. Good for you, Mark. Good for you. I don't know. I would need therapy, quite severe therapy. So anyway, he turns up, and it is a timing of the story. Then we get the opening titles. Do I like the opening titles, or do I think they're too flashy? I don't know. I think my favorite era opening titles was the second Matt Smith ones where you see his face in it. I thought that those were very good, right? The TV was on BBC One when Doctor Who started, so I ended up half watching it, and I thought it was generally good. It's designed to be a half watch. Stephen Moffat really shows David's shortcoming as a writer and producer. That's true. That is true. Again, if we could replace Shooting Out with Peter Capaldi, I think it would. But that's the other thing. replacing Peter Capaldi is only part thing. If we can move it back in time to 2015, right, where there's not this dripping hatred of Christianity, which there is, right? There is this dripping hatred of Christianity, particularly coming out of this show, right? Which is what all the queer representation actually is. It's hatred of Christianity. And again, I'm Jewish. I don't want to tell you, mate. Anyway, so we start the show. Now we're at the beginning of the plot, right? It's basically all like the plot strands are going to join up. And again, the timey-wiminess of this was actually quite fun. Oh, the more I think about it, the more I wish I could overlay a Peter Capaldi Doctor, because that would have been really quite good. Although I wasn't, I've never really been sold on the time hotel idea, right? Where the hotel where you can go to anywhere in time, and it's all the unsold rooms, and like look, that just strikes me as somebody who's somebody who's been who travels too much for work, right? So anyway, the Doctor shows up in his dressing gown, and again, the quirkiness of the Doctor would work if there was a core of Doctorness in them, right? And later on in the episode where he's mean, he's like mean and nasty to what's the name, Joy, Nicola Coughlan. It didn't work. Whereas when Sylvester McCoy did it in Curse of Fenric, it super worked. Because I just felt there's a core of niceness and non-predatory niceness. And Ncuti just strikes him being very predatory, like very sexual. Everything he does is very sexual. There's a lot of sexual energy going on with him. So he's there to get the free milk from the Time Hotel, and he and you can't see the paper. It's called the Timey Wimey. That's kind of cute, right? That is kind of cute. At the same time, you see this guy with a briefcase. The Doctor knows him, but doesn't really pick up on it till later. And he meets that bloke who I like this actor, right? What's the name? The Doctor Who production guy who gets all who goes to all the location footage, says everybody's lovely apart from this guy was a total douchebag. So I don't know, maybe he just had a bad experience with him. But I do like him as an actor. I like him most things, right? So it explains the premise. We're in a time hotel, Christmas everywhere at once, and he's got two cups because he forgot he doesn't have Ruby Sunday with him anymore. And he goes back to the TARDIS and he changes from his dressing gown. He's fully dressed into his leather jacket. And again, if that was his actual costume, it would. But again, he just really doesn't work as a Doctor. And I'm really sorry. He just how can you? And his voice is a real problem I have with it. Like, how can you find literally the only black actor with no baritone and no authority to his voice? Like, it's like I don't even understand how you do that. It's really weird. I don't know. The fuck me eyes. Okay, the gay fuck me eyes was just too much of them. I hate this console room. I hate the console. It's all too big. I hate it all. Right. So he just realized, something's going on. I didn't really realize. So I'm going to go back and check. And he goes and investigates about this suitcase. Right. And he says, well, that suitcase is something weird going on with it. And something going. And so they go on a mission to follow the suitcase guy. Right, and again, they talk about like the timey-wimey stuff. He's in a time hotel, and the Doctor doesn't really pick up what's going. So, and then he has his the cheese toasty or whatever delivered to him. I think before he ordered it because they just realized he wanted it. So this guy, so this guy with the suitcase is going around. And the suitcase chooses people higher up the who have more authority than the person over there, and then they take them over, which is what happens to this guy. And then what happens when they decide they don't want the suitcase, doesn't want the guy anymore? They burn up and they vanish.
But I was on a mission.
All right, so the suitcase wants to pass itself up and up and up the chain. So he's doing something. Oh, yeah. So he's looking for something to do with the suitcase. It doesn't really matter, right? And doing the opening thing. So then this guy's got the suitcase now, and the suitcase chooses the Silurian guy instead. And the Silurian guy goes through the door, and this bloke do we see him disintegrate? Yeah, once the suitcase gives you up, you just like melt away, like as we just saw. Fine. So now we're back at 15 minutes in. We're back at the beginning, and now we've seen it in order. We actually have a less of an idea what's going on. Weirdly enough, so Nicola Coughlin's there with the Silurian, and he's trying to work out what's going on with the suitcase. And here, what did they say with the suitcase? Here, do we see? Here's the line they keep repeating.
Can someone just...
Toasty and a pumpkin latte. Oh, hello. Okay, you, yes. Good work. Keep him covered. Who are you then?
Joy.
Joy. Top name, Joy.
Look.
Again. So I don't know why she can't see the Silurian. Here.
Question. What is in that case? Can I see?
Look, I'm just going to put his towels in the bathroom.
Take it.
Access upgrading. And then what happens?
Take it, and all will...
Right, yeah. So this is the hotel manager. Now he wants the sense of the doctors who he wants. And the doctor's like, no, I don't want to take it. I'm going to like be zapped if I do. Right? And then Nicola Coughlan takes the suitcase. He's like, oh, no, that's really bad. Here, and so here, I think we get the line from her.
Anything else? Oh, thank you. Very kind. Oh. The starseed will bloom and the flesh will rise.
Yeah, the starseed will bloom and the flesh will rise. That's like the when anybody gets taken up by a suitcase, right? So then the Silurian lies down and is about to die, and she takes his key, and off she goes. And fine. So then he opens the case, right? And the case like 15 seconds to self-destruct. He's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's got to work. So he has to like try and work out what to do. And eventually he closed it just in the nick of time, right? Just in the nick of time. But then he gets this thing pop up, say to reestablish the containment field or whatever. Got to enter a four-digit code. He's like, well, what's the code? I don't know. And this is. I found this a really annoying cop-out, right? And he's only got 5 seconds before Joy gets zapped. And then another doctor walks in through the time door and tells him the code. And then Joy goes out with the other doctor. And he's like, well, what? Again, we've seen this in the trailer. How long do you have to wait to work out the code? And don't find out. And he's being mysterious, and Shooter's like railing against Shooty being mysterious. And again, at no point does he feel like the Doctor to me. And this could be a really cool Doctor's companion, but he at no point feels like the Doctor. I at no point feel like this is like a 1,000-year-old entity or 2,000-year-old entity, right? Who's traveled time. I can't connect this to Tom Baker whatsoever. Peter Capaldi, no problem. David Tennant, no problem. This is just too different from. And they kept saying, "Oh, it's completely original. It's very different, but exactly the same." No, it's not. Right? No, it's not. Get over that. It's not exactly the same. It's queer. I like that bottom line when you get that. It's queer Doctor Who, right? And I just don't think it works. So Shooty gets left there now, and he's stranded back there. So he can't get to his TARDIS, right? And so he's said, well, okay, I guess I'll stay here and wait for the time door to open again. And he makes friends with this woman who's working there. And then we get he's basically trapped there for a year or a bit more. But I remember Paul McGann, there was a quite good book called Seeing Eye, written by Kate Allman, which is where he was trapped in this prison for about 2-3 years, and he was going out of his mind. John Pertwee was felt so trapped. He feels fine because he's not the Doctor. He's just totally an ordinary bloke, right? He's Shooty Gatwa. He's a hot gay black guy, right? And so he's working at the hotel, being all quirky and funny. And he like connects with I think this woman's name is Anita, right? And they get to know each other, and they develop an actual relationship and care about each other. And they so he spends his time trying to work out what the code is, and they finally end up sitting down and talking to each other. And the whole thing about having empty chairs, right? Chairs are meant to be sat in and experience together. So this bit was really quite nice. I mean, but again, if this was Capaldi, it would be great, right? Because Capaldi people like going out with his mind, being trapped there and trying to work out the mystery, but also can't help but connect and like form real genuine relationship. And I just think this speaks of the writing was strong mostly, and again, rather than the anti-Christian agenda, which I really feel was there. And again, I don't think it's conscious. I really don't. So then she's lonely, has nobody in her life, and basically he is too. And then they go to the honeymoon suite, which when people are like they've just got married, and it's just weird. I just found this whole bit like uncomfortable. Oh yeah, whenever there's a door connected to the time hotel that's not activated, it's a brick wall. Okay. So it's New Year's, and then he's like, okay, he realizes he's got to go to New York, and he's leaving, and there's this really quite sad parting scene, right, where she's broken up, that she's lost her apparently only friend, right? So now somehow he knows he's got to go to New York to get back to the time hotel, and he goes in, and then he goes straight back to him, and he tells him the code. He just made it up. He never worked out the code. Right? It's like, it's a bootstrap paradox. It's just like, oh, don't put it in there if you can't answer it. But that's very like, DEI found it. I did notice them, yeah. You got stranded as well, but that wasn't, that was shit. That's true. He is a DEI hire. I can't just like, that's essentially who he is, and I don't know why they decided to do that. Because he's a hot gay black guy, and I keep going round and round in a circle. Mark the Big said I might have googled the wrong boobs, but I got no regrets. Well, that's good for you, mate. Fine. So now he goes with Nicola Coughlan, and Shooty has to wait there for a year for no apparent reason. And he disconnects it so he can work it out. And he's basically just saying, I just made up the code. So okay, so now Shooty starts being mean to her to try and break through the conditioning that the suitcase is doing to her. And he's not very good at it. Again, I've never seen any genuine warmth come from him, right? Any platonic warmth. Everything is very sexually tinged, right? So when here, I'll compare it, and I think you'll be able to see it, right? When Capaldi, when Sylvester McCoy did exactly the same thing to Ace in Curse of Fenric, right? That one really worked because there's this, even though he was an aloof alien, there's a core of kindness that came out from Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. The second, where is it doing? Oh, I might. It's there we go. We'll go for the special edition. Right, so Ace's faith is holding back the herbivore from killing the bad guy, right? And then oh, here we go.
Kneel if you want the girl to live.
Kill her.
I find that really genuinely chilling. Whereas over here, it just sounds like bitchy. Here, I'm going to finish this.
The Time Lord finally understands.
You think I didn't know? The chess set in Lady Painful's study? I knew.
Earlier than that, Time Lord. Before Cyberman.
Ice World.
Ever since Ice World. Were you first, Mad?
I mean, this was a really, really good like resolution.
The girl.
I knew she carried the evil inside her. I think I'd have chosen a social misfit if I hadn't known. She couldn't even pass her chemistry exams at school, and yet she manages to create...
Right, okay, so that's... I bet they got higher ratings as well. So compare it to this.
Do you know what else I worked out, Joy? You. Oh, I just spent a year in the hotel room that you chose. Do you know what you can tell?
And this whole thing about hotel rooms is like it's like you without makeup on. No, that's nonsense. It's a hotel room's got nothing to do with you. You don't. You get the room you can afford. Essentially,
not a selfie that you posed for, more like catching yourself in the mirror. Was your mirror telling you, Joy?
Now here's the thing: all the acting's being done by Nicola Coughlan, right? Who I think's pretty darn solid, right? I really do, and she does deliver the emotional sucker punch for the story, right? And he, where was it? Then we get this really, I mean, again, I think this really great speech from her about her mother.
Saddest hotel room in the world.
Yeah, he just seems nasty.
Excuse me?
When you come in all smiles and...
Yeah, so I don't want to get to the speech about her mother, which I thought was very powerful.
She sounds like a riot.
She's dead. She died in hospital. I couldn't even visit. I had to talk to her on an iPad because of the rules.
Oh, the rules.
Yes, the rules.
And I bet you're good at obeying those rules.
Listen, and here's the thing: they think this is a stinging criticism on the Tory government, which it is, but it's actually a stinging criticism on the World Economic Forum and the WHO, right? Who came up with these ridiculous rules. And the reason I think this was so powerful, yeah, let's get to the whole speech about it because it's very good.
So a good little girl is obeying all the rules.
She died on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day! And I say goodbye in an iPad because of the rules! She died alone! And those awful people in their wine fridges and their dancing and their parties, and I listen to them, and I let my mother die alone!
And honestly, I think that's so real, right? I mean, this is really Doctor Who at its absolute best, and it's being fucked up by this preening, egotistical cunt on the screen here, right? Because I'm sure you have as well. I know people who did exactly that, right? They weren't able to be with their parents when they died. Awful, right? Oh, and it really, I think develops like a strong punch for her character. Which I think worked really, really strongly. Again, if this was Capaldi, right? Capaldi would then switch to this softness, right? Which is so much more real because he is he has that harsh exterior. So when he's soft, it's so much more precious, I would say, right? But again, this isn't the stinging criticism of the Tories, and everybody hates the Tories. I mean, fucking like literally everybody hates the Tories, right? You don't need to you're going out there. No, everybody hates the Tories. The thing is, everybody hates Starmer more, right? They really do. They really, really, really do. Yeah, how about it? So it gets us to break the conditioning, and because of that, the suitcase was off. But again, if this character's arc was to find love and acceptance in the arms of a man in a very, very in a very normative way, it would have worked a lot better, right? It would have worked a hell of a lot, a lot better. But they can't do that anyway. So then we get some more daring doing. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's so funny. It says, "Oh, you know, corporations they have to logo everything." And I was watching this. I saw the BBC logo on the screen. And I'm like, "Yep, evil corporation it is." So Villain Guard top up again, and they got this like power source thing that they have to drag it back to the dawn of time to mature, which is where they are right now. Yeah, our Moffat's Labour Party, they didn't necessarily support the rules, as Matthew Mount said. They would enforce them worse, right? And like, what are you trying to pretend to me that the entirety of Labour aren't hypocrite scum, right? Free gear care. Yeah, they are. They're scum, right? They are absolute scum, right? They've lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, right? Don't like, you can't make a moral argument that the Tories are worse than Labour. Labour are absolutely, they're fascist scum. Anyway, fine. So this thing like let's go, and now the Silurian has uploaded itself to the AI as an interface, which just makes it easier, so it can like talk and answer questions. But again, Shooty Gower is just shit as a doctor, right? I just don't buy him whatsoever. It's got nothing to do with skin color. It's got something to do with his like lack of backbone and gravitas, which he has none of. So then they get attacked by a T-Rex. Very good effects, right? But again, do we need these great effects? I just showed you a clip from Curse of Fenric. Was a lot stronger, right? What's the rate for Curse of Fenric? Let me just look that up. Curse of Fenric. I wonder if it got more than 4.1, right? Let me look at the ratings right now. That would be hilarious. Do we have the ratings? Where is it? Here's Nicola Pratt. Yes! It got 4.3. Between 4.2 and 4.3. Yeah, it did better. On a November in 89. When it had far less people living in the UK. Anyway, but it was good work, you know, fair dues, very good effect work. I'm not sure how important it was, and they nearly get eaten by the T-Rex. And you gotta wonder, what is this hotel room at the dawn of time with like gramophones and stuff? But it's kind of interesting. And then the suitcase gets eaten by the T-Rex, and they go out, and now they have to try and find it again. Okay, so this guy who's been killed is now uploaded to his sonic screwdriver, even though it doesn't look like a sonic screwdriver, and it basically tells him what to do, right? So he says, you got to go over here. This is millions of years later, where the dinosaurs spat out the suitcase, right? So it's nearly matured, and it might blow up everything if it starts or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Big jeopardy. So they can't get it open. So then they get this. You get again. This is the only bit. If they were just right to his strength, which is physicality, right? That works. Like quirkiness doesn't work, right? It's but strength. Yes, it's right to his strength. So he gets the what was it? The rope and the thing, and he's got this plan to somehow. And it's really weird. He ropes the door that's the big boulder door that's locked. We're using the Orient Express, and it works, and it looks good. It looks good, and it's good fun daring do that like your granny or your aunt will have on in the background while she's waiting for Wallace and Gromit to come on, right? And they go, oh, that looks fun. But I just don't think you can detract from the repellentness of Shooty Gower's personality, right? When Joel Fry appears in the interface, that's where they should have got the code from. Says PG Rich. Yeah, but you worry about logic and reason. Not this era. Fine. So now this thing's about to mature. She says that's a breakup letter to a girlfriend. I'm like, fuck off! Why is everybody fucking gay? Like, not everybody has to be gay. And for me, this just reeks of complete insecurity about one's own sexuality, right? I don't think gay people were always like having to say, oh, we got to scream being gay's the best and everybody's gay. Up at the like again, I think it's going to have a lot of very inauthentic, confused people with confused sexuality with people, and they really don't know what's up or down or black or white, right? It's a very long rope. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. Once it was a masterpiece compared to this, and it was kind of boring, most people say. So yeah, she's gay. Okay, whatever. So then now this thing's about to go supernova, and it's merging with Joy. And again, this is actually quite good Christmassy fare if she wasn't such a loser sad sack. Right? It worked better with Kylie Minogue, because Kylie Minogue, it was more heartbreaking because you kind of felt that wasn't the you felt that she could do more in life, right? Nicola Coughlin's character you felt had plateaued, right? So she bonds with the star, and does he cry? I can't even remember. And she says, "Oh, it was all about you, really. You talked about the empty hotel room. That was you. You need to connect with people, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess I do." And then essentially she blows up, and almost certainly dies a virgin. Okay. So then she becomes the star of hope, which is kind of again ripping off the 2010. Right, becomes the star of hope. Everybody looks up. Oh, I will stay with my gay lover. And Ruby Sunday looks at her, and boy, so she has a weird haircut. And she calls her mother. They shot this when they shot the Legend of Ruby Sunday or Empire Death. So she's still working there alone and bereft, and nobody to be friends with. She sees a star, and then a guy comes through the. This woman comes through the time door and says, "Hey, would you like to work at the Time Hotel?" And so her redemption, she gets another job. I don't know. Maybe she needs a bloke. How about that? Maybe she needs somebody to love her and cherish her, right? Maybe that. Would that be no? Because again, this is just so hardwired into a human psyche, and it's just completely like ignored, and everything is coping for like not having these basic needs met, right? Like, yeah, why do you need found family? Because you keep tending to run from your family. You know, your family loves you, right? So she gets the the job in another hotel, in the Time Hotel in the future. And then in 2020, her mother dies, and they're talking to her via iPad. And again, you know, this is this is a really strong emotional center of the show, which it's which I think works. So I thought it was brave. I think it worked. Right. So then her mother looks up and sees a star, which is Nicola Coughlan, who then Peter Richards say she ended her own mother to in a hospice. Is that what's going on here? I don't really know, but she turns into like glowy stuff and floats up and said, "Oh, I'll be with my child forever, my virgin child who has never really lived." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it all well, it ends well." And then we see the star over here, Bethlehem. Now again, if this was a Capaldi story, I wouldn't feel there was a dripping hatred of Christianity and a desire to tear it down or replace it with something else, which would make this a rather delightful homage, right? I don't think Judy does cry. Let me see. Hang on. Is he crying again? Oh God. Give it a rest, Judy. Is he crying? I can't tell.
Oh, of course. Joy. Of course you are. You're Joy.
Really a shit actor. I'm sorry. I don't think he's really a shit actor. Yeah. So as I said, if this was Comedic Capaldi era, I wouldn't feel this is a swipe of disdain towards Christianity. This feels to me like a swipe of disdain towards Christianity, right? Which I don't really like, right? He does only when Joy does. You see it here. Let's have a quick look. Where is it? Oh, yeah, you go. Oh, fuck off, Shooty. Crying little cunt. Yeah, a really sniveling little cunt. That's really how I view. And so that happens. And again, I just feel it's again. I'm not Christian, right? I'm not Christian, but I imagine Christians will find this offensive. In fact, Christians did find this offensive. That's where AF5. Who was it? Let me find the. I am sure I bookmarked this tweet, which I think said it out very, very clearly, right? Better than I could. Again, because it's written by somebody who is Christian. Oh, here we go. Fine. Let me pull this up. Doing. And yeah, if it wasn't like relentlessly promoting, being gay, being queer, I think it might have not been, and not been so anti-Christian. It might have actually worked better, but it wasn't that far away, right? It wasn't that far away. So she comes to show that science through history. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that's kind of what there's going. So, Theta Sigma says the Christmas special of Doctor Who Joined World literally is a direct mockery of Christianity and will offend a lot of people. At the end, the titular character transmutes into Star using her tech from Villain Guard to become the Star that appears in. Yeah. Oh, it further goes on. It's also another 73 years quality paradox books, but yeah, that just annoys the hell out of me. Oh, I can't find the rest of the tree. It further goes on to say that people die, that when people die, they all become part of the Star. So they took the beliefs of Christianity and gutted it from the Christmas special. I saw it, so you don't. Yeah, I mean that was basically my feeling with it too, right? So what? Christmas episode's ending and Joy's fate explained by Stephen Moffat and Nicola Coughlan. Well, good. Tell me. Okay, I was trying to figure out what we could do. We had all these different Christmases, and I thought logically we would have the first one as well. So shouldn't we? And I thought, well, hang on. So I created a whole plot around a star scene, so everybody could see. So somebody, so see that someone, the case could be flown in. Originally, I thought we'll just detonate the star and get rid of it, but then I thought that made the star a great big explosion. It will be the loveliest star ever. Oh, that's essentially what stars are, aren't they? And it's a star exudes love. When people look up at it, they feel charged and uplifted. You actually see the star. It changed how people think and feel. So I thought, well, Joy becomes a star and goes on from being a sad woman who draws unhappiness into her becoming a star that radiates joy and actually launches every Christmas after that, and then say something. Maybe her mother could have sacrificed herself to become the star, saving her daughter that she could then go off and marry and have children, right? And live a life that she could be happy with, right? I think that would have been better. It's a tribute to Stephen Moffat's writing that it could fit in this kind of adventure. The human dinosaurs, a real heartbreak, all in 1 hour special. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think this was a skillful script. Sadly, shat on by Shooting Gatwa, right? But I feel it was a very relatable thing. What he's written about, and it's a thing at Christmas that boils down to what really matters, where people love. And again, I thought the COVID stuff was very strong. I really did. And Joy and the Doctor feel in different ways. I just don't agree with your choices, mate. I think they're really they're really informed by living in a world that hates Christianity, right? And they do. Let's see if they got the ratings up here. Meditation on loneliness kind of was to a great extent. So they're not reporting the ratings over here. Let's look over here. And share screen. So we saw it gets a 4.1. Last year it got a 4.7, I think. Yeah, so I'll look it up. Doctor Who rating. No, I got 2024. So 411. 2023 ratings. Hang on, here we go. So last year, the overnight was 4.73, right? So that 620,000 more people didn't watch it. What was the schedule last year as well? 1 second. Because the schedule it had this year, I think they got 1 million viewers from Wallace and Gromit. I really do. BBC Chris, just schedule 2023. Let's see if we can pull that up. 1 second. Stop screen. Share screen. I guess like last year, it was Shooter's first episode. People were interested, but I think they were out the very second they saw the gay dance routine. But the 25th, we there yet? That's BBC Two. There we go. What's it over here? Yeah, it didn't have anything like the support that it did this year, and it did worse. I think that's really indicative, right? I think that's really, really indicative, right? It's got Strictly Come Dancing as a lead-in, but Michael Matilda's Christmas Wheel, it didn't have, like this year, what led into Wallace and Gromit, and it did worse. So it's a sign of like the dropping audiences, but the audiences are dropping because they just make shit. Oh, they make relentless shit, right? And it is just relentless shit. Which is why I think. But that being said, I mean, look, in the industry, I think 4.1 is probably a reasonably good rating, right? It's a rating that they again, this is because they destroyed their own industry. But now the industry is destroyed, they go, oh, well, that's not so bad for our destroyed industry, right? Yeah, it could be worse. I mean, yes, like everything else could be worse. But, it could be so much better. That's really the problem. It could be so much bloody better. And it's a waste of resources, waste of opportunity. And I miss having good Doctor Who. Frankly, I really do miss that. Still, we'll look at it. We'll start. I'm just getting this image in the right place. Then we'll start the year in review for the first 3 months. Hang on. Pain in the ass. Nearly there. For some reason, the last slide came out as the first one, so I'm just dragging it to the end of the timeline. But we will see like how this year has been an interesting ride, right? An interesting ride that I think we're at a much better place now than we were 12 months ago. I mean, well, yeah, with the Trump election, certainly. But I think we're at a much better place now. So fine, let's start the year in review. We'll start over here. January 1st. Share screen. During when Queer just meant strange? Nah, me neither. The strange state of Doctor Who going into 2024. Oh boy! We didn't realize how strange and weird it would be, right? But yes, indeed. Man, was that a prophetic thumbnail right there? One of the good things coming this year is the resurgence of the comic book industry, which I really didn't know about until recently. Apparently, DC are turning themselves around. Like, the comic book industry was destroyed by these talentless DEI hires who are mostly mentally ill, and they just couldn't write. Right, these people wrote the comics you expected them to write, and they're all about flexing their muscles and showing their superiority and they destroyed the industry. And now their reign ended very early because it came okay to start calling them cancel pigs, right? Because they hounded another person to death, right? And they did it just one time too bloody many, right? So that dark shadow over the comic book. But the thing is, there's not much comic book industry left now. They systematically destroyed it. All right. disgracefully, actually. But they really did. They just absolutely destroyed it. It's a shame. He used to like comics. What can you do? He used to like Doctor Who too. We went to 5. So Doctor Who goes under the sea. Sea Devils have confirmed. Star Wars now exclusively about frumpy, miserable women in space. Yes. Oh, this spin-off makes me so wet, but you're not going to be there, Millie. This was before I think you were fired. Darling, what's with all the chicks with dicks on the surface nowadays? It's just weird. Good question you're asking, right? It is a good question, Mr. Silurian. Right? Toxic Doctor Who fan. And you see how much they've collapsed? Toxic fandom. You hardly see or hear from them anymore. Thank God. I mean, most of them ran to Blue Sky, and Blue Sky is going to collapse in a few months, apparently. So, so good, yeah. Goodbye. Toxic Doctor Who fandoms, bonkers inconsistent morality makes them even more bonkers, right? So, yeah, the picture on the one side, you have a strange-looking drag queen going, this is totally normal, stunning, and brave. And then Scarlett Johansson looking fantastic, but this is just sick perversion. And that is the weird way they look at the world, right? That's January 5th we're up to. BBC and Rossi, they would tell the public, fuck off! Doctor Who is now all about chicks with dicks, and if you don't like it, you're a racist. They go, fuck off! Yeah, this is before their shooters era started. And so much fucking confidence, Russell. So much fucking confidence you had. Didn't work out as well as you thought, did it? No. Russell, may I say, if you're a Chinese restaurant, you'll be called some dumb cunt. Okay? That's who you would be. January 6th, Doctor Who re-enters the bonkers spin zone, indicating things can't be going too well for the year. It wasn't. Yeah, stars now about exclusively on women in space. Of course. If the Force is being female look like this, no, of course, if the Force being female look like this, no one would mind. Oh my giddy aunt. Actually, this isn't such a bad way to go. It really isn't, right? It really isn't. Jedi Nicola Bryant grasping a shaft firmly in her hands. I get behind that. Man, this war has gone on and on and on, and you don't realize what it's like, man. It is. Like when every time I see a casualty, it's like a knife in the gut, because this is, I know the misery that just one causes. This is awful, and having my son in front lines doesn't really help. Star Wars now, okay. I used this line now exclusive about miserable, lonely, frumpy, empty women in space. We all generally fucking hate you. Yes. Now they haven't started making this movie though. Weirdly enough, right? This was on January 9th. Haven't really heard anything about it. Why would you get Daisy Ridley back? I mean, what is good about her? She's not attractive. She's not compelling. And her character was shit. Other than that, other than looks, brains, personality, she was fantastic. By January 15th, we were saying, new era of Doctor Who is canon law is everything is canon. So basically nothing is canon. Right? Won't make meltdown over Deja and Ricky Gervais. Yes. Let's light this baby up. Okay, you see how much not Nicola Bryant, how much AI has improved this year. So I decided the only way to fix all the Chibnall's destruction of canon is to destroy a lot more. Well, yes, that was your plan, right? That was your plan. But again, we see the people fighting back and reality poking through as Ricky Gervais and Dave Chappelle return genuine comedy. Yeah, and they did, right? They absolutely did. I can't remember what this time was about, just I really liked it. In the new era of Doctor Who, everything counts. So basically, the Rabbi from Another Planet presents the two Romanas. Oh, that's it. The dumbing down of culture for the moron children on TikTok. Yeah, the inside scoop at the most pointless waste of money spent on the TARDIS set. Oh, God. I hate that TARDIS set. Doctor, are you sure the Routers had infiltrated a 19th century Parisian brothel as they have to go undercover? Well, hopefully not too much undercover. One of my favorite thumbnails of the year. I like this one. Right. Georgia Tennant said maybe rape isn't resistance and she got dogpiled on Twitter. All I said was these Tel Aviv beaches look nice. Trigger warning! Trigger warning! Told you they were crazy. Yes, Peter, you did tell her. Did she listen? No, she bloody didn't. Don't interrupt the year the World Economic Forum got told they're utterly useless and disconnected from reality. Oh, yeah, and this was only January 24th. I think they didn't like it even more when they got to November 6th. We are your superiors, and we forbid you, sirs, calling us cock-vumble morons, whatever that may be. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Klaus Schwab, could there be anybody more of a James Bond villain? Really? The new Doctor Who's total bollocks. I look at some of the mind-melting bad ideas wheeled out thus far, right? Join me as we journey deep into Russell's mind and see what went wrong. You better wear some wellies. The floor gets very sticky now. I bet it does, darling. Barbie, Oscar snub. Woke weirdos melt down. Well, they do all the time. Story I got wrong. Big time wrong. This was in January 29th. Is this the end of Big Finish? Killed by DEI mandates. Grim financial reporting indicates company may only have weeks before forced to cease trading. Well, nothing lasts forever. 26 years is a darn good run. Yes, Nick Briggs, but it turned out this story was total bollocks. I 100% believed it, right? I 100% believed every word of it. And I was absolutely wrong. January 31st, weird rumor came out after years of sucking on the small screen. Why it's time for Star Trek Discovery and Michael Burnham to suck in the cinema. Imagine these crazy eyes on the big screen. No! Nobody wants to do that. And here's a thumb or something we saw many times over this year. The Unhinged Woke Meltdown as the failure of She-Hulk and the MCU. Men! Yeah, no, it's not men's fault. It's your fault for making shit, darling. Right? And that's really it's your fault for making unwatchable shit. One of the big surprises of the year, Godzilla -1. If it's still on Netflix, go watch it. It's fan-dabby double dozy. It's such a good movie, right? It's really such a great movie, and it's an adult movie as well. All right, not adult movie, but it was a mature movie, right? I really thought that was they knocked that out of the park. It's wonderful. It really was about the Japanese post-war experience and how battling Godzilla gave them some kind of redemption and pride again. It was wonderful, right? It was such a good, and it's a personal story as well. I really, really loved it, right? This is probably the best Godzilla movie ever made, right? Yeah, I would say. By Generation Bollocks, wacky ratings here, didn't go so well for them. Big Finish Live and Kissing with lots of new box sets announced. Yeah, apparently I was 100% wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is an epically shit idea. Yes, it was. It was epically shit. Just breathtakingly shit. What a terrible, stupid idea. It was just shit, right? And we never got an explanation for how the Doctor's clothes regenerated. I mean, like, oh God, it's everything. Everything is just nothing matters, right? No care, no attention going into anything at all. So more bi-generation nonsense. And it was a bad idea, right? It was a bad idea, right? Bad idea. Done badly, right? I mean, again, I still can't believe somebody said, oh yeah, we should totally try this, right? Last Christmas was the last decent special. I really liked Twice Upon a Time, right? I really liked Twice Upon a Time, but that's just me for you. The ratings were going to get a lot worse, weren't they? Seriously, it's not even out yet. So at February 2nd right now, on February 5th, we got a first look at the Rogue Trooper movie. When is that coming out? I'm really excited. I like Duncan Jones a lot. Rogue Trooper movie. Do we have a release date for it? Date 2025. Yeah, I'm looking at the IMDb. In theaters in 2025, but when in 2025? Got a good cast as well. Yeah, let me see if there's anything. One second, is there anything on IMDb? Do we have a release date there? No, not one I can see anyway. Not one that's leaping out to me. Yeah. Well, we'll try it. When is the Rogue Trooper movie released? Not released in this, or just released in general. Is it? I don't know. I don't know. There's no news essentially. Well, when it's coming out, but this does look like a darn interesting. I am psyched to see this. Right? BBC came out as just absolute racist cunts. Right? BBC gets the racist cunt of the year award over here, February 5th as well. The relentless anti-white Jew hating racism of the BBC. Could that be why they can't make anything that anybody wants to watch? Yeah, if you hate your audience, which they do, and they do hate their audience, it makes it a lot harder to make anything to battle please them. The Zen of Chris Chibnall. 2 years later, the failed writer comes out of hiding. George R. R. Martin comes out as a woke fuck. Yes. George, you spent a decade making us into masturbating fantasies, and now you go woke? Yeah, really? Really, George? It's a bit strange, mate. It is a bit strange. How the BBC destroyed itself with diversity, which was anything but that. Yeah, well, the right side of history, bigot. Yes, this says the BBC to be more than anything else. The official Disney woke agenda that they're running scared from now, we were told wasn't there, leaks. Goth Opera comes to audio and was very, very good. Gina Carano, Elon Musk sued Disney into oblivion. Yes, and this is a great thumbnail. Payback's a bitch, baby. Fuck, says Mickey. One of the good things to come out of the Gaza war was Michael Rappaport, who turned out to be absolutely brilliant. Right? And he goes off on this thing about people saying, as a Jew. Oh, man, I love Michael Rappaport. Yeah, he had major Trump derangement syndrome, probably still does, but good Jew. Right? Good Jew. So then Doctor Who Magazine, it's issue 600. And I think, no, the magazine's got a lot better in the last couple of issues, right? But this is where it wasn't good, right? What's the name? Jason Quinn has taken over. Jason Quinn is an interesting guy. He looks like a really genuinely interesting, fun guy to hang around with. And they had this idea of putting all these Doctor Who magazines all over the TARDIS set. And it just doesn't look very interesting. I think because the TARDIS set is just so boring and shit, right? And this is just so much work. And then they've got to clean them all up again. It's just so much work. And it was like an absolute dud, right? An absolute dud. Speaking of absolute duds, the War Doctor Begins range comes to crawls to an end with this second box set, which was really about a stunning and brave woman who was the key to everything. This cyborg anti-Dalek person thing. I don't know. And thank God they ended the range and reinvented it. One of the ranges that really does work well, though, is this Future of the Dalek. So here, this is coming up. Let me find this. YouTube. Let's see if I got it on my history. Hang on. I got to look up Dino Puff. Hang on. It is Dino Puff, I think. Okay, found his channel. He's got something here. This looks really fun. This premieres. Yeah. Stop screen. So yeah, so that release features Daleks I thought was really clever. I really genuinely like that one. But again, I'm biased because I like Stephen Noonan. Right? Yeah, but this looks awesome. So this guy, the guy who did the so this drops in 5 hours. So I'll be looking at this on my Saturday show. He's doing an animation from that Big Finish story. So yeah, I'm really psyched for it. It's really good. Actually, I really genuinely like this one. It's got an older Vicky in it, and the Doctor is... look, I guess what was going on, I think, about halfway through. But it was an interesting twist. They did that well. So that's February 12th. One of the few and far between successful Big Finish this year. Gender swapping the toy maker. What took so long? It's so boring. It's a banal, lazy, and boring idea that hasn't worked since Starbuck and Battlestar Galactica. What a girl's got to eat. I just end up Bandland as the celestial toy maker. Just fuck off. Like, try and say there's no difference between men and women. Fuck off with that. Okay? Fuck off with that. We're done with you. On Valentine's Day, Will Wheaton has a meltdown at Larry David because he punches out Elmo, right? How was I cooler when I was a dweeby kid? You tell him, Homo, because you're just a massive loser, mate. And he is. He is. A massive winner for the year, though. One of the few great cinematic achievements. Deadpool and Wolverine, right? We saw the first trailer reaction. That was on February 16th. That worked out good, right? We were quite happy with that. But by February 18th, we got the news that Billy Gibson was fired, right? The mysteries of Ruby Sunday that need to be answered. Jodie era star Gallifrey 1 anti-tram puns up and deportation. I can't remember that story. It's weird. Yeah, Kevin McNally. Kevin McNally got like blind drunk and he got in a punch up with a drag queen or something at Gallifrey 1. That's what. So the biggest mystery about Ruby Sunday is why on earth did they fire me? Because you're white and straight, darling. That's why, and they're racist. The coming AI revolution is going to bring lots of awesome Doctor Who and more side. So let's just play a little bit of this video again because it was so good. If you want to see great AI Doctor Who, where is it? There we go. Doink. Yeah. I love this animation style that he's working with right now. Right, Marco Polo. But here, I wanted to get to more here. What's the Cushing? This new stuff he's got coming out looks really good. But I loved. Yeah. So, oh hell, Frobisher. Oh hell, the big talking bird. Yeah, that's coming, baby. I just can't come fast enough for me, baby. And I've actually been known to come extremely quickly, right? Get ready for my 4th, 5th, and 6th seasons. And in any just immoral world, universe that would have happened. Yes, I know, Peter. You are correct. We had the Ted TV series. This was from February 21st. Not bad. It was a sitcom. It was like 8 or 10 episodes. It was kind of fun. It didn't strike me as being overly woke. For me, it worked. It was in a different universe to the Ted movies. But who gives a shit about that stuff? It's Ted, right? Who gives a shit? Oh, God. He's back again this year. The cringe fest that is David fucking Tennant. Oh, I'm an ally. I'm such an ally. You're not an ally of decent human beings. That's what you're fucking not. Hills Kevin McNally, Gallifrey 1 punch up. Look, looks like my mighty charisma has finally run out of steam. I wonder if all the bonkers gender lecturing had anything to do with it. It had everything to do with it. And fuck off David fucking Tennant. Oh, God. Fuck off David fucking Tennant, right? That's I think, a refrain most fans can get behind nowadays. This was really good. Again, another one of the high spots of Big Finish was on February 23rd. Revolution of Space. Sadie Miller playing her mother's role, Sarah Jane Smith. She finally actually got good about it. This is a good Malcolm Hukey type adventure. I recommend it, right? It was like, oh, that's too expensive now, right? Yeah, wait till it's on sale, right? Rossi Davis tells Doctor Who media shilling up to the max. And relentlessly spews out bollocks, yes. 73 yards. Do you remember how that had the best monster ever? Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, gone forever. Doom Part 2, the first review. Yeah, Doom Part 2 was good. I like the villain of Dune, right? Don't get me wrong. Now we burnt culture to the ground. The only thing left for this toxic feminist is to work on her tan. Yes, I see that. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. And then we did a bit of a roundtable discussion. I thought this movie worked in many, many ways, especially what's his name? Fair, played by Austin Butler. Austin Butler is the find of 2024, right? I like Austin Butler as well. The other great thing of 2024 This comic book came out only, 35 years too late, right? Finally, the Miracle Man saga continues, and it's not bad. Not bad at all. So we enter March, and I had to do a bit of a Tegan thumbnail. Air Australia's first class cobbers where the Vegemite is chilled for your pleasure. Just said rib for your pleasure. Nissa and Tegan, star-crossed lovers, the greatest Doctor Who romance. Yeah, they remember that's when they said Nissa and Tegan were totally lesbians, 100% lesbians. It's 100% going to work. It was shit. Star Wars Bad Batch, I think one of the only good things that come out the current era Star Wars. I like the Bad Batch. Previewing first parts of Big Finish epic 2-year event Dark Gallifrey, which died a death and then vanished. Right? It was supposed to come out every month for 2 years. It took a 6-month break. Fuck off. It's just not working out, is it? It's just not working out. Sadly, which I kind of like the once I heard of it, but like, I don't know. I think they had much higher expectations for this. Something I didn't have high expectations for at all was this movie, Spaceman, starring Adam Sandler. A really interesting, contemplative sci-fi movie, which was more like hard sci-fi. It wasn't like spectacle, but it was, just an interesting character study. All right, Adam Sandler I thought was very good, and now I like this movie. I like it a lot. It's worth your time if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix. Again, don't expect spectacle, right? This is more like what's okay? This is more like something Kinder, than the two doctors. Then was it the Twice Upon a Time or something big. Oh, like Joy to the World, right? It's not spectacle, but the special effects are excellent, but it's not spectacle. Did I call this right? The divine inability of the next Donald Trump presidency sending liberals into meltdown. Way back on March 8th, I called this 100% perfectly, and I will say, well done, Tzvi. And I think this was before anybody else said he had a chance, right? And again, because my prediction model comes from looking at world events plugged into theology, which seems to have worked out quite well. So this latest salacious edition, bonkers Doctor Who season 14 theories. They weren't very good. Ghostbusters, for example, who are you going to call? Not them. The ethics of James Gunn's new DC universe. Man, that worked out well. I say, Parker, we have to cancel our trip to the Naughty Hellfire Club. The Rabbi's live stream is on. Well, absolutely. I can't disagree with you, Lady Penelope. Lady Penelope. This was a great story from March 11th. Nabu Shapan's meltdown upon meltdowns at me, right? I did a 60-second short saying that, happy birthday, Nabu Shapan. Great villain still. We love the work you did. All that I say, he did this direct-to-video thing called Still on This Devil Sees the Dreadnor. Wasn't very good, right? In my opinion, he had a meltdown beyond a meltdown. He went and told other people that I was going to get my sons to come and murder him because they're Israeli. I mean, just like absolute meltdown, absolute anti-Semitic meltdown. To be 100% clear. The Rabbi gave me a bad review. That's terrible. Can I get some marshmallows, my lord? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just serve them in your cleavage and that'll be fine. Another high spot of the television year, Constellation. Again, very expensive. This was not low budget. Very expensive contemplative drama. I'm so glad it didn't get a second season, right? Because this deserves to be a one-season wonder. I am so glad it didn't get a second season because I think it's more special on its own, right? I really, really, really like this. And look, I often recommend Apple TV. They got Silo One right now, which I love, and then they got the second season of Severance, and you get this show as well. You get Master of the Air. There's a lot good on Apple TV Plus, right? Especially if you got an HD big screen TV, it looks beautiful, right? It streams beautifully onto it. Shooty Wood looking like a weird prick as always. Ian Levine's AI Dalek Masterman AI reconstruction just started to surface and was fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. And the one with the biggest tit who can't dress normally for more than 5 minutes goes to me. Have you ever heard Shooty Gatwood doing his vocal exercises to get himself, in the right frame of mind? He goes, me, because everything's about Shooty, right? Everything's all about Shooty. Stephen Moffat returning. Rumors abound. Moffat's pending the 2024 Christmas. Turn out he is. Guess what's coming for Christmas? If you're wearing that outfit, Nicola, I am. Honestly, I don't think it's me, but I think the story is bollocks. I guess I was wrong, right? I guess I was wrong. Christopher Nolan was doing The Prisoner. No, I think he's now switched doing the Odyssey. So good for him. Lady Gaga's bonkers International Women's Day endorsement. Dylan Mulvaney's woman face misogyny. So this is what what is Stockholm syndrome again? Oh, nothing you need to worry about. Sydney Sweeney appeared on my radar by March 16th. You might be excited about Henry Cavill's Wolverine, but wait until you see Sydney Sweeney as Emma Frost. Yes, indeed. He's not wrong. Later Doctor Who news. Oy vey, you wait till the series starts. James Gunn's Superman DC Universe can into look all kinds of awesome, and I love everything. I don't understand. But look, I understand people like James Cavill as the Doctor, right? I get it as Superman. He was very good. This new version looks awesome. I'm sorry, Crypto steals the show. Crypto for the win. Absolutely. And March 18th, I was still right. The formation of the Donald Trump bloodbath hoax in real time. Yeah, that's why he was saying that if the Democrats win, it'll be a bloodbath for the auto industry, and they cut out for the auto industry and said it's just going to be a bloodbath. Another one of the high spots of the big finish this year, and it really the first quarter was the best. Sontaras versus Rutons, right? This was a really good series that tied together nicely, and it did what it said on the tin with an interesting TARDIS team. So I like the Sixth Doctor and Charlie. I thought that worked well together. But Charlie had this annoying thing of like going oh, Doctor, I obviously we've never met each other before, even though obviously you had. I don't know, but again, this one worked quite well. Maybe the shit show that this new era is just me trying to make Chibnall and Whittaker look good. So stunning and brave. No, it's not. You just out your fucking face, right? You see the big bag revealed. Did this? No, I would have said Sutek if it was revealed. Bad Batch. Again, I really genuinely strong entry into the Star Wars saga. I like that a lot. A terrible entry in the Star Wars saga was the Acolyte trailer drops. Diverse, equitable, and inclusive, unwashable shit. Don't worry, I'm a black lesbian too. So let's go, Wookie. The Rabbi Saturday Shagadelic stream, indeed. Making a childhood fantasy come to life. Doctor Who, discontent. Grant Morrison defends Batman. New Doctor Who trailer. Let's be honest, I was totally in Everest Bank at some point. You were, Nicola. And that's a Clara Dorothy. So that's not a bad masturbatory fantasy, if you don't mind me saying so. On March 27th, we got the first look at Fallout. It was very, very good. Tell you, shows about post-apocalyptic silos have dominated 2024, right? This was very mediocre, but watchable, right? What, not great, mediocre, but watchable. I will watch the second season. And then Stephen Moffat talk some sense. As he keeps doing that, maybe it's not a good idea to be a relentlessly politically motivated cunt. But that's what I live for. I know, toxic fan, and that is what you live for. On March 30th, I was putting out my AI version of AI Colin Baker reads Millennial Rights. If you haven't heard it, get over there. It's fantastic, right? Go and check this out. And then Easter came on March 31st with this weird trans day of visibility on the White House lawn. It was really genuinely disgusting, right? Dr. Will's out another trailer. Is this a pathetic attempt at damage control? Jewish 007, licensed convention. Yeah, I think he is going to be Jewish, actually. I declare Sunday never trans visibility day. Fuck you, Joe. Happy Easter, everyone. See Millie and Nicola there to help save the day. And that was the first 3 months of 2024, right? That was the first 3 months of 2024. We'll do the next 3 months on Saturday. And then, and again, I'm out of time to do a Blake 7 review. Saturday, I've got to try and squeeze it in, baby. She cried. Jigga, jigga. Problem Being's here. How you doing, Problem Being? Thank you for joining us. So, who else was here? Miss Matthew Pound, I said hello to you. David Marlin, I've said hello to you. David Enke, I don't think I said hello to you, but I'll say hello to you now. Someone says, I am a Christian, and I think it is disrespectful that if we made an episode having a trans person detransition by the end, oh, wouldn't you love that, right? Saving Yasmin Finney. Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it again. Back on Saturday night, same time, for more fun, frivolity, and cyber filth.